Smalls Memorial Stadium in Charleston, South Carolina. Our Friday night of SFL action rolls on to the Deep South as the 0-1 Bossier City Steamers rumble in to take on the 1-0 Charleston Predators in this Week 2 clash. Hello and a very warm welcome. My name is Michael Torello. Happy to have your company. Alongside me is Wade Phillips in the broadcast booth. Wade, these two teams were involved in two of the craziest Week 1 matchups. Charleston came out on top at overtime, and Bossier City had a big lead evaporate in the second half.
Yes, they did. And Charleston, they were trailing throughout the game up until the third quarter and turned it on, and Bossier was leading by 17 most of the first half, and then it all fell apart in the second half for them.
And maybe you gotta put the blame a little bit on Johnny Pickler. It wasn't the greatest performance for him. 50% completion, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. Did attempt 40 throws as Bossier City only ran the ball 19 times in week number 1. We're gonna see the Steamers in all white, the Predators in the black and red. Steamers will get the ball first, and it's game on here in Charleston. Also on live stats tonight, we want to thank Justin Reside and Joshua Durr for being with us this evening. Taking a look at the Bossier City starting lineup. The former offensive rookie of the season in season 14 of the three-time All-Star Johnny Pickler is under center. Rob Noel at running back along with Robert Nemchek. Speedy Gonzalez is at fullback. Dave Axis, Vin Kalia, and Jeff Banfield at wide receiver. Adam Williams, Garrison Blue are the tight ends. Pickler on first down goes deep, picked off. One play and an interception for Ben Bowman, the outside linebacker, playing way down the field out of position, but he's in the right position to come up with the interception.
Yeah, we mentioned it about Pickler, maybe a little bit rattled, and right there, first play of the day for him, and it's an interception. Ben Bowman, excellent read on that pass coverage to take that away and turn it the other way, and now it's just the worst possible start for Bossier's offense, and now Charleston gets it running.
Third interception already in a game and one play for Johnny Pickler. Last year, 25 interceptions towards the bottom of the league for Johnny. Here is the first play for Charleston, and the handoff goes to Yale, Montana. Ivan Kopech is the quarterback of Montana. Nick Hoagland and Patrick Rudlang are the running backs. Brad Taylor Wright is the fullback. Doug Spelling, Nick Twice, and Michael Knight are the wide receivers for Charleston. Leon Sandcastle and Xavier Solomon, the tight ends, with Mala Henlier, Hopper, Perrin Barra, Leroy James, and Finley James on the offensive line. Inside the 30. After a 1-yard gain on first down, the pitch goes out to Montana, tries to turn the corner, and picks up 6. And this, Wade, is Yale Montana's first game against this Bossier City Lone Star Alamo City franchise since he was a part of their ownership group back in season 21.
Yeah, and he's playing with some passion tonight.
Third down and 3. This will be a massive half stop for Bossier City after that first play turnover. And they almost get it, but Montana says, I think not, running inside the 10 and out of bounds down to the 8-yard line.
He got 19 carries that first game, and right there picks up right where he left off. Gets a massive hole to bounce out to the outside and picks up quite a few after breaking the line of scrimmage. So excellent drive so far for Charleston.
It was a very balanced offensive rushing attack for Charleston last week. Overall, they ran the ball 33 times for 114 yards, 19 carries for 49 for Montana, 11 for 48 for Nick Hoagland, and just 1 carry for the fullback. This is a throw to the back of the end zone, and it's almost intercepted. Michaela Foraker, the most improved player last season, had the ball in her hands, just didn't come down in bounds.
No, and that's heartbreaking because that's right there's a script changer. You flip it back onto offense and you got a drive put together, but now just terrible break right there, and now they get another shot at it.
Foraker was quiet in week 1 with just 2 tackles. Kopech on the floater to Montana, and he'll strut his way into the end zone, and an early interception is converted to early points for Charleston.
looked like Bossier was expecting a bit of a run. They kind of plugged the middle, and that left Yayo Montana just wide open on the outside. His 6th reception of the season, first reception touchdown, and now Charleston with the takeaway gets points off the turnover, and they're right on the right foot.
First touchdown pass of the season for Iman Kopech. Extra point up and good, 29 yards. 1 minute and 22 seconds off the clock after the one-play turnover. Ben Bowman with the interception off Johnny Pickler on Bossier City's first drive. And basically, if you're Bossier City, you got to think, well, the game starts right now. Throw that all away, and you got to come out of the locker room again, go stand on the sideline in your mind, go through the whole national anthem, do everything again, and start over.
Yep, brand new ball game for him.
With the exception that you've spotted Charleston, 7 points. This Bossier City team started like a rocket in week 1 at home against Florida. Led 17-0 with 1 minute to go in the first half. Then Florida dominated the second half, eventually winning 28-26 in a thriller. Pickler off his back foot. What a throw to find Vin Calia for a first down.
A phenomenal catch right there. And it looks like they're just going to keep on slinging the rock. Hey, they couldn't get any consistency in the run game in that first ball game. And now, they're just abandoning all hope and just chunking it. But, still young ball game. They can definitely turn on that run game at any time.
Pickler with the great strength on a 12-yard completion to throw it, falling away off his back foot. Here comes the late blitz, 5-man rush, throws right where that linebacker came from, and it's a completion to one of his favorite targets, Garrison Blue.
And so far, it's been Garrison Blue and Vin Calia, his 2 favorite targets of that first game, and we're seeing it again here today. And right there, Garrison Blue got wide open on the post route and was able to pick up a few after the catch, and now Bossier City is very much in threatening territory.
Garrison last week, 5 catches, 115 yards. Calia, 6 catches, 72 yards, and a touchdown. As Bossier City rebounds quickly into Charleston territory. Here comes the blitz again. They run away from it. First carry for Rob Noel. Trucks a defender, picks up 4.
Fantastic way to start, pick up 4. Hard charging run, use the bull charge right there and knock down the defender. But hey, if they can keep that up, it's going to help the quarterback so much in this game.
Second out and 6, I formation. With Noel spotting it, Pickler back to pass. Great blitz pick up. That's a fumble on the play. Will probably be reviewed. Picked up by Brandon Ewing of Charleston, but I am not sure that the Bossier City receiver had possession there.
I'm 100% with you. I think right here we'll see it. He doesn't even have a chance to establish possession. Right there, pops out. But heads up play by Charleston to hop on it. And so there's no, shenanigans on that side. But hey, right there, we're probably going to see, yep, there it is.
Well, that's what your coach told you every time. Always play to the whistle, right? In every sport, in every league around the world, that's what you do. You don't hear a whistle, you keep going hard. Unfortunately, Charleston is going to be denied their second turnover, I believe, on this review. Nice initial read by Pickler to find Adam Williams. Williams just couldn't hang on through contact.
Yeah, and the defender was right there to just jar the ball loose, and now we see the verdict.
The receiver did not have possession of the ball prior to the fumble. Tennessee will not be charged as a timeout.
So Bossier City, no timeout burn. Ball retained as they are driving towards field goal range here. Middle of the first half, 7-0 Charleston after an early, as in first offensive play from scrimmage early. Ben Bowman interception of Johnny Pickler turned into a Kopech pass to Montana for a touchdown. If you're just joining us, Michael Toronto and Wade Phillips on the call for you on this Friday evening. Another late blitz coming, and Calia makes a man miss in the open field and steps forward to the 26-yard line.
There he is again. Calia's 6'2", which, he's 221, so he's a thicker receiver, but caught that right there in a bit of traffic, shakes off the tackle right there, just blows through him, but then the defender's right there to wrap him up. But hey, I see Vin Calia getting targeted quite often, as the same with Garrison Blue all day.
Great move by Calia to step through Leo Morris and get a couple extra yards. Now well and truly into field goal range. They'll spread this one out. 3 receivers, 2 tight ends. They'll hand the ball off, and that's great pressure up the middle by the defense. And a stop for no yards as Noel couldn't get anything that time.
You said it, partner. Excellent pressure to break up that block, and then you saw the runner. He hit that hole, but he had a hole right to his left, but unfortunately got stacked up.
2nd and 10. This time the defense playing way off the line. No press coverage at all. Let's see if they take advantage of it with a quick pass here. Pickler does throw quick and completes it to Jeff Banfield.
You read that all the way. You said it. They're playing off coverage, and then the little slant route is right there wide open behind the defense. Just put it right through the window, and Pickler's kind of cooking right now, except for that one errant pass in his first play. He's kind of shaking the rust off a bit, and we'll see if he can keep it up.
After that interception by Ben Bowman, he was kind of caught in no man's land on that last play. Let Banfield go right by him. Another first down. Pickler on the run, being chased. Tucks it and moves to the 10, to the 5, and he's going to get down to the 4-yard line before being crunched by Anthony Ellison. 1st and goal. Correction, 2nd down and 1. Didn't get the first down. And inside the 5, down to the 3.
He got a touchdown on rushing in their first game, so he is definitely a threat to scramble.
2 carries, 14 yards, and a touchdown to the first game for Pickler. He'll hand it off around the edge, gets a block, and Noel can't get away from the back pressure by Khalil Thomas. 2nd and goal. Well, correction, 1st and goal.
I'd like to see him maybe a dive play right here, or something right up the middle, using that fullback to lead block and get you through.
Pickler on the rollout, incomplete! Clutch stop by Leo Morris to knock that one away. 2nd and goal.
Leo Morris was absolutely phenomenal right there. He did all he could to stop that play. It looked like we were going to see a touchdown for Bossier City, but no. The defense pops him in the hat, and he drops the ball.
First pass breakup of the season for Morris, credited with 1 tackle last week in the Charleston win over LA. 2nd and goal from the 1. This time they'll hand it off, and diving in with the style points is Robert Nemchek. The first running back touchdown of the season for Bossier City has us an extra point away from being tied.
And so this just shows they're starting to kind of get that running duo going, and so it's definitely going to pay off dividends near the end game, because when you can be a balanced attack, the defense can't just tee off on the passing attack and shut you down.
If you looked last season, right, this was not a team that was afraid to run. Noel and Nemchek combined for 3rd best in the league in carries, 328 total carries between them. Extra point good from Matt Fennick, ties this one up at 7, 4:56 left to go in the first quarter. And now we really get to see what Charleston is made of on an extended drive, where they were handed excellent field position by that Bowman interception on their first drive. Let's see what they have to do when they're backed up. Although that is an excellent return by Nick Twice all the way out to the 34.
Absolutely, and their offense has been the fortunate recipient of some pretty decent field position. That first drive, it's inside, opponent territory, but right there, get it past the 30-yard line, you love that.
Simon Kopak, one of the best quarterbacks in the league last season in terms of completions. 227 completions in 422 attempts, both of those 2nd in the league, 3rd in the league in passing yards, 31-17 last season. He's going to roll out and try to open up the cannon, but he throws it in double coverage and incomplete on 1st down. He was looking for Nick Twice.
It's still early, but they're leaning a bit on that passing game. That first drive they ran it a bit more, but we'll see if they mix it up, stay balanced on this drive, or if they change their game plan a little bit.
Kopak only threw twice on that first drive. He was 1 for 2. Now he's 1 for 3. His one completion was that touchdown on a check down to Montana. Offset eye, Kopech, here comes the pressure. Great completion, Nick Twice running free past the 50, down to the Bossier City 45.
Bob Funk was hot on his trail, just running behind him, trying to catch up. Eventually caught him, but he caught it over the middle and continues to run. Excellent play to get yards after catch, which is something you love to see in a receiver. But right there, Bob Funk eventually brought him down.
Twice huffing and puffing after that play. He was all the way on the numbers on the near side, caught the ball over the middle and ended up on the far side of the field. This time a draw. Great stiff arm over the middle by Montana to pick up 5 yards. Let's take a look at this Bossier City defense. The starters on the defensive line are Stephen Fellows, Rob Foraker, Biff Markham, and Jubo McSlim. Linebackers Bogey Barr and Freddie Trammell. Corners Pink Lisa, Michaela Foraker, Stuart Zomelia and Gunny McGuire, and the safeties Bob Funk and Zach Holdorf. 2nd down and 5. Throw out to the far side. Here's Nick Hoagland, the other back that partners Montana, and he'll pick up a 1st down.
Hoagland had 7 receptions last season, and right there caught it, picks up the 1st down, and now we get to see Charleston continue to cook in their offense, and now, looking at a very comfortable 1st and 10.
Just outside the 45-yard line, 7-7, 3.5 to go, 1st quarter. Kopech will slow it down, sends Spelling in motion to the far side. He's tracked by Foraker all the way out there in one-on-one coverage. They'll run the ball, and Montana goes absolutely nowhere. Bogey Barr, lead tackler on that stop.
And Charleston had blockers on the right side of the line, but they decided to run to the left where they didn't have the coverage over there of blockers, and ultimately got bottled up for a no gain.
Listen, I like weak side counter in certain situations. 1st and 10, not really one of them.
Yep.
This time they'll try a strong side run. The fullback misses the block though, and Bob Funk makes the tackle. A gain of only 2 yards sets up 3rd down.
Yeah, now I have a feeling we're going to see Kopech try to sling it for the 1st down, and we'll see who he tries to target. They like to spread the ball around to all these receivers and tight ends.
Kopech's only 2 of his 3 completions, are on checkdowns. He's going to have to throw deep this time. That's a pass interference flag if I've ever seen one. I believe it was Pink Lisa all over the intended receiver, Doug Spelling. And we're going to get a free 1st down for Charleston here.
Yeah, she was wearing them like a dirty shirt. And yeah, right there, you can't, oh, wow, yeah, you can't do that. Yeah, that's going to get called every time.
Tough on Lisa, because that was a tough throw. It was short of the line to gain, and it was back shoulder and low by the knees. So I'm not sure if Spelling even comes up with that ball if he isn't interfered with. But that's water under bridge now as a fresh set of downs for Charleston, and here comes the rush off the backside. Stephen Fellows crushes Kopech. He didn't even see what hit him.
And he's off and running. He had 4.5 sacks last season, and right there bottles up the quarterback for the sack. And Bossier City's defense can absolutely come to play, and their pass rush can get to you in a hurry.
2 tackles last week for Fellows, both for loss. He has been a menace in the backfield. Kopech, great completion right to the sticks, erasing that negative play. Doug Spelling dropping the bucket.
And that was absolutely sensational. He had double coverage right there, the safety and the corner, it looked like, threaded the needle, and Spelling caught it and brought it down for the 1st down.
Great route by Spelling, absolutely burned the quarterback on that post route, got inside position and was able to make the catch. Now Charleston inside the red zone at the 16. Look at this overloaded formation, 4-by-1. And it doesn't help as the rush gets home and Kopech goes down. 2nd sack on this drive. Jobu McSlim gets through for his 1st of the season.
Yeah, it just did not matter. They overloaded like you said, but the defensive line just breaks the block and gets in there and slings him down. And, I can imagine Kopech is absolutely telling this line, hey, guys, just give me just a little bit of time and let me complete some passes.
2nd down and long for the 2nd straight set of down. 2nd and 16 after the loss of 6. Kopech under pressure against the 4-man rush, and high pointing the ball is the big man Xavier Solomon. He needed all of his 6'4", 245 frame to go up and pick that one up.
Yes, he did. He led the league last week in reception, had 10 last week for 112 yards, and right there almost gets it and carries it into the end zone, but they stopped him short. But, you know, that's one thing I think we can focus on, see how Xavier Solomon lends himself in this game.
Another 2nd and long that Kopech throws his way out of. Now 1st and goal at the 3, the handoff, Montoya gets 2.
Yeah, the lane opened up. I thought he might be able to shake off a defender, get into the end zone, but excellent play by Bossier City's defense to shut down those lanes and stop him for, you know, no touchdown.
This whole drive pretty much has been on the arm of Iman Kopech, but will it be the legs of Yeo Montana to put him in the end zone? 10 seconds to go in the first half. They don't have to snap the ball here, but they will. And it's the fullback!
Touchdown!
Nick Hoagland, touchdown! Predators, as they take the lead with 4 ticks to go in the opening frame.
And that's the 2nd touchdown of the season. Got one last week, and right there gets it again. Yayo got that first touchdown through the air, and now Nick Hoagland, rumble, bumble, stumble right up the middle for a touchdown.
Now, it was aided a bit by the pass interference penalty for Bossier City, but both of these teams so far, Wade, look very efficient on offense.
Yes, they do, and they're staying balanced as much as they can.
The extra point is good.
4 offensive possessions, 3 touchdowns, and an interception, although I hesitate to call that first Bossier City possession a full possession if they got picked off on the first play. 14-7 now, 4 seconds to go in the first quarter, and if this kickoff is returned, it may take us to the end of that opening frame. And it will be returned by Dave Axis. Spins, shakes off a tackle, tries to get to the outside, and gets exactly to the 30-yard line, which will bring us to the end of a very exciting and high-scoring first quarter of action. 14-7 Charleston, as we have a clipping call against Bossier City that will back them all the way back to the 15-yard line as we start quarter number 2 here on the Simulation Football League on the Virtual Football Network. Second quarter underway. My name is Michael Terrello. Happy to have your company. Wade Phillips alongside me in the broadcast booth. Justin Reside on stats along with Joshua Durr. And our fearless leader, as always, in the production truck is Cameron Irvine. The clipping rears its ugly head and backs Bossier City up half the distance to the goal. On 1st and 10, they'll also go with an unbalanced wide receiver formation after motioning Callion to the near side. And Bossier City takes full advantage of that extra man being out of the box as Noel gets 10 yards on 1st down.
Yeah, that's a phenomenal play call right there. You spread out the defense where you lighten the middle of the field and then run it right up the middle for a 9-yard gain. 2nd
and inches out of the eye. Picking his way through for a 1st down is Nemchek. Look at the total yards, 93 to 91. These teams very closely matched early on.
Yes, they are. And, you know, if we take away that early interception by Pickler, I think, you know, we have, you know, maybe a tie ball game on our hands, but that's how she goes.
2-by-2, the wide receiver formation, and it's an incomplete pass for Pickler looking for Jeff Banfield. Banfield hasn't had much love today. He had that big hit where he had the ball in his hands and got rocked and lost it for a fumble that was called back, and then that time he was the intended receiver, but the ball was thrown well behind him.
Yeah, he's been getting targeted a bit, but, you know, like you said, just tough luck today.
Does have the 1 reception for 17 yards now on 3 targets. There's the tight end Garrison Blue now. Will move to the inside of the trips receiver set to the near side. Whoa! Pickler avoids a sack, throws deep, incomplete. As Garrison Blue can't hang on, he was in double coverage and got hit stuck by Brandon Ewing.
And that's just a phenomenal play by Charleston. You know, great job getting to the quarterback. Couldn't bring him down, but then you follow through and get the pass, you know, deflection. So A+ play right there.
John Lally must be kicking himself, probably thinking I should have had a sack. Here comes the blitz. It's picked up. Pickler has to roll out. He's still escaping. Will tuck it and run, and will somehow get a positive yardage out of that play. but it's not going to be enough as it's 4th down and 7.
No, the wily vet right there scrambles for his life, and just luckily enough to get a few, but now it's they've got to punt it. So a win for Charleston's defense right there on that drive.
How about the gutsy call by defensive coordinator Anthony Ellison, sending a full-on blitz on 3rd and 10, and the return's going to be near the 35 for Michael Knight for Charleston.
Yeah, when it works, oh, you love it, but oh my goodness, I'm sure he doesn't have any fingernails, probably bit them all just thinking about that all blitz and then what can happen on that.
Listen, after being at the convention last week and seeing what some of these coaches go through, I'm talking to you, Eddie Gage, during the game, I can believe it. Charleston with a 7-point lead on the ball, although that run doesn't really go anywhere. Nice stop by Freddie Trammell. It's been a minute. Hope you haven't forgotten. It's super simple to smash that like button and help the channel out. We've just crossed 8,500 subscribers, so subscribe if you haven't already so you never miss a live stream, highlight, or podcast. Thank you for your support of the Virtual Football Network and the Simulation Football League. Montana bounces outside, stiff arms Trammell, but 4 acres right there for a no-yard gain.
Yeah, Trammell did a great job just starting the tackle process, and then Foraker comes in, lays the wood, and knocks him down. So she just came in there and just played with some hate right there.
Foraker had a quiet week 1, just 2 tackles to her name after being named the most improved player of the season in season 24. That pass deflected at the line of scrimmage by Bogey Barr, and it'll be 3rd down.
And right there, Bogey Barr tried to get an invite to the interception party, but unfortunately just couldn't get the mail delivered.
Yeah, 4th down, my apologies. So after an offensively dominant first quarter from both teams where neither defense got a stop except for the interception, we've seen 2 3-and-outs to start quarter number 2, and the ball goes back to Bossier City.
Yeah, but they get some pretty good field position right here on the Bossier 36, so their best field position of the day. So we get to see if they can make a little bit of a journey right here on this drive.
And the touchdown drive for Bossier City back in the first quarter was 11 plays, 84 yards. Johnny Pickler and company trying to engineer something similar as they start at their own 36-yard line. Pickler stands in, almost throws a pick. Looking for Banfield, but the route was undercut by Matt Ryan.
They have got to start running the ball because, I mean, they're having some success with it. I believe that we saw that graphic was over 5 yards per carry. So, I mean, they've abandoned it a little bit on this drive, this few possessions here, but we'll see.
Noel, 15 yards. That one a check down out to Noel. But he has no blockers. And he'll only pick up 1 yard. But yeah, you look at the rushing yards. Noel, 4 carries, 15 yards. Nemchek, just 2 carries, 3 yards with that 1 yard touchdown. Meanwhile, Johnny Pickler, 5 for 11. Bunch formation, trips out to the left-hand side. Pickler avoids the rush, and he has to scramble again, and he's hit hard by Ryan as he was trying to slide. So 3 straight 3-and-outs combined between these two teams to start the second quarter.
Yeah, the defenses are taking what they're given, and so far it's been, a defensive battle so far in these past few drives, but it'll be interesting to see if either one of these teams can kind of right the ship and get something going.
Great punt by Danny Dimes. Great coverage by Bossier City. Backs Charleston all the way up to their own 22-yard line. Their deepest starting field position of the game, although they did counter that long Bossier City drive in the first quarter with a 13-play, 62-yard drive of their own. 3 straight punts, 2 by Bossier City, 1 by Charleston to start this second quarter. That's a better start for Charleston as a 5-yard pickup by Yale, Montana.
Yes, it has, and you mentioned it. these drives, some of these scoring drives they haven't been drives, they've been cross-country drives because they've taken, 10, 11 plays and have gone pretty much the entire field.
Deep handoff, Hoagland, whoa! He takes 2 defenders with him across the line to gain first down, Charleston. That's the first down by either team here in the second quarter.
Wow, that's an interesting stat. And now, and I love to see the shoulder charges where you just blow over a defender by a running back. It's just so exciting. Right there, Hoagland played with some hate and just took out the defender.
The smaller of the 2 backs, Hoagland, he's 6'0", 230. Montana, 6'4", 247. A handoff on a stretch play goes to Montana. He'll roll over a defender for 5 yards. And if you're getting 5 yards a carry, you don't have to throw the ball. You're just going to move all the way down the field.
Absolutely, yeah. Like you said, 6 yards, 6 plays per drive average for both for Charleston, and it's like we said, these scoring drives have been long.
Another run, Hoagland can't get away from the attentions of the middle linebacker there. Bob Funk came in and finished the job that Bogey Bar started. The plays per drive, very interesting, right? And I think the main reason for the difference between the two is Bossier City has more short drives than Charleston does.
Yep.
Delayed handoff, Montana tries to squeak out the back door, and he's going absolutely nowhere. Schertzomelia was coming on a corner blitz anyway and found himself an armful of running back.
Yeah, Bossier's defense stepped up on this drive and now forcing the punt, and they get it back. We'll see if they have another short possession or if they can stretch it out and put some points on them.
Not sure why you would go for that little counter run on 3rd and 5, but anyway, we'll send it back to Kevin Irvine in the SFL studios for a game update.
Thank you, Turillo. Our first of the season. Oklahoma City welcomes Tiberius Bovine back to tight end with this play down the sideline against Minnesota. 7-0 Oklahoma City with the early lead. Minnesota now across the 50. Back to you.
They just like fine wine, and Johnny Pickler, as we come back to live, goes down. 3rd sack of the game already for Charleston, I believe.
And with that game break, Tiberius Bovine, the defender's eyes were probably the size of dinner plates when he's running at him, because, I would not want to stop him.
Check that. That was the 1st sack of the game for Charleston. Bossier City has 2 sacks the other way. 2nd out of 14 after the loss of 4. Pickler had the man open, and it was just straight up dropped out over the middle of the field.
Yeah, you're right. Just straight up dropped. It had a few defenders in the area, but, you've got to come down with that. If that ball hits leather, you've got to bring that down.
That was the 3rd tight end on the depth chart, Chad Meyer. Now 3rd and 14 as Charleston drops a ton back in coverage. They bring a delayed blitz again, and Pickler under pressure can only brush the fingertips of Jeff Banfield, who is now 1 for 4 on targets this evening, and another 3 and out forced by this Charleston defense.
Yeah, no, it's not the start that they wanted from the moment the ball dropped. They have just been having tough luck, and we'll see if they can, have a big conversation at halftime and maybe shake some of the first half rust off.
Fair catch made at the 30-yard line. 3:43 to go first half. 14-7 Charleston. That score has not budged since the end of the first quarter. And last week, talk about Charleston's defense, right? John Stamago had a ridiculous game, 10 tackles. Tigga Clay, 7 tackles, 2 tackles for loss. They forced 2 fumbles, which were instrumental in that comeback against LA as well. Here's the handoff. Montana, great seal block by the fullback, Brad Taylor Wright, as he picks up a first down.
And this run game, like we've mentioned, they've just been, trudging along, 5-6 yards per carry. And why, we've said it, why would you lean on anything else if you're getting 5 yards per carry with your running backs?
Of course, the rushing last week for Charleston, 33 carries, 114 yards. Montana was the best, 19 carries, 49. Hoagland, who got 3 yards right there, went 11 for 48. Both of them had a rushing touchdown. Although, funnily enough, neither had a long carry of further than 9 yards. So it was chipping away the whole game for the Charleston run game. 2nd and 7. Are they going to continue this ground assault? They will. Montana bottled up, nowhere to go, loss of 2.
And Bossier City responded right there. They had multiple run plays where, you know, it paid off with some pretty nice runs, and right there, bottle them up, stop them for, you know, minimal gain.
And now it's on the arm of Iman Kopech, 3rd down and 8. Kopech stands in, intercepted off a deflection. Great play by Gunny McGuire as he tips it to himself and returns it all the way near the Charleston 35.
And maybe that's the spark Bossier City needed. Gunny playing huge right there, picking that off. Like you said, bobbled it a little bit, but then brought it down and took it the other way for, 10 yards. And now we've got Bossier City looking at, potentially putting some points on if they can continue this drive more than 3 plays.
The wide receiver DB dynamic is all about leverage and inside position. And on that play, McGuire had the perfect position, basically ran the route for the receiver and picked it off. And that sets up Bossier City an excellent chance to tie this game before halftime. 2:22 left. They're going to run it. Noel trying to bounce it outside. Nothing doing there. Clobbered by Ben Bowman with Pat Redding assisting.
Yeah, this Charleston linebacker crew has been just absolutely balling out, just flying all around the field and stopping these runs. Like, Bossier's had some success in the run game, but Charleston is not making it easy.
2-minute warning. Bossier City try to get back in it, down 14-7 after a Gunny McGuire interception puts them in Charleston territory. Ben Bowman's been the defender to watch in this first half. 2 tackles and an interception for Charleston. John Stavago, 5 tackles from his strong safety spot, as well as the wide receivers go 2 by 2 all the way out by the numbers. Ball right hash, Pickler to snap, the throw. Kalia has Stickum on his gloves as he hauls in a one-handed catch for a first down in traffic.
Yeah, check that man's hands, check the ball. I believe we have some Stickum over there. But no, that play was just an excellent play because, first off, they get the first down, but also, it continues to strive, and it's not just a 3 and out that they've had multiple times before.
1 yard shy of the red zone now at the 21. Pickler moves in the pocket, has to throw underneath. Kalia with the catch, 9-yard gain. Just throw it to number 19, he's out there somewhere.
Yes, he is. And, he catches, you put anything within arm's reach of him like we saw before, and he's going to come down with it.
Kalia now 4 receptions on 5 targets for 49 yards. Jeff Banfield still looking for his big breakout moment. They're going to run the ball on 2nd and 1. Great swim move to get through the first level of defense by Rob Noel. Timeout called as we'll stop the clock. With Bossier City now inside the 10, a goal-to-go situation.
He got skinny right there. Had to get through that slot that he was running through, but got it, and now we're looking at a very possible conversion right here.
1st and goal from just outside the 5. Pickler pressured up the middle and finds Vin Kalia for the touchdown.
The Vin Kalia drive right there. Targeted him 3 or 4 times on that drive alone, and now he hits pay dirt, and right there, just 3 defenders in the area, and he still comes down with it. That's just absolutely insane catching ability, and the throw, he had to put it where only Kalia could catch it, and right there, he brought it down.
First half for Kalia, 5 for 6 for 54 yards and a touchdown, as the extra point is good by Matt Fennick to tie the game. Last week, Kalia 6 for 72 and 1 touchdown as well. He is the only Bossier City Steamer with a receiving touchdown on the season so far. Still a very young season, a game and just less than a half into it. And we have a 14-14 very entertaining ball game. Now what can Charleston do with about a minute to go and 3 timeouts? And pretty darn good field position as Michael Knight returns it near the 35.
I'd like to see Charleston, lean on their run a little bit, but, time's running out, so they've got to throw it. But, maybe, I changed that. Maybe, just sling it. If you're going for points, just sling it. Try to get those big chunks and get something.
About 40 yards, I'd say, till field goal range. 53 seconds left. 3 timeouts for the Predators. Let's see if they play conservative or go for points here. The run game's been pretty good with Montana and Hoagland. They'll pitch it to Montana, and he can't get around Zach Holdorf. And they'll let the clock run, so they are content to go in with a tie ball game. Charleston does get the ball out of halftime, even though it feels like they started with the ball after that interception after 1 play. Hoagland, tackle by Bob Funk. Back-to-back safety tackles by Funk and Holdorf on those 2 plays will take us to the end of a very entertaining first half. And it seems early on in this season, Wade, that neither one of these teams knows how to play a boring game.
That's absolutely right. That's they're 2 for 2 this season in exciting games, and it's makes our job so much easier.
Picked off. Kopech tried to catch the defense sleeping and pays the price. Zach Holdorf picks up the interception. His 2nd of the year, had 1 last week. I don't hate the call because there's no time left on the clock. You might as well try and catch the defense sleeping. And we'll go to the end of the first half. The only thing that is a negative against is a interception on Kopech's stats. 14 all here at the break in Charleston. Wade, your thoughts on a very entertaining tied first half at 14 piece.
Yeah, no, if we can see these teams kind of tighten up the turnover game, then we can see, either one of these teams break through. But right now we've seen, an interception by both squads, both quarterbacks, and so far the defenses we know came to play, because 14 for, each team is a lighter scoring game.
And we didn't think it was going to look like that after the first quarter, right? 14-7. 4 drives, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. But the defenses came to play, and all but 1 drive ended in a turnover and a ton of 3 and outs as well in that second quarter. We didn't have a first down until over halfway through the second quarter.
Yeah, no, they had to shake off that second quarter rust for sure.
My player of the first half, I think, is going to be Ben Bowman. 2 tackles and an interception for Charleston to set them up for that opening touchdown.
I'm going to have to say Vin Kalia.
That's not a bad one. 5 for 6, 54 yards and a touchdown late in the second quarter to tie the game. Charleston in a 14-14 contest against Bossier City will pick up the ball first to start the second half. They'll start at their own 27. My name is Michael Cirillo. Happy to have your company. Happy to have the company of Wade Phillips on commentary. Joshua Durr and Justin Reside on stats. Cameron Irvine is in the broadcast production truck this evening. Charleston had some pretty decent field position. Their lowest starting field position on the day was their own 22. This one, their own 27.
Yeah, like you said, that interception put them in beautiful field position, and the rest, they've been at some pretty nice returns so far.
Second deepest starting field position of the game for Charleston. Kopech on 1st and 10, pumps and gets rid of it barely as he was nailed as he let that one go.
That was all the coverage right there. He had nowhere to go. The pressure almost got to him, but luckily got rid of the ball, but the coverage was outstanding down the field.
2nd and 10 after an empty play. Kopech, brilliant. Floated over 2 defenders right in front of a third, and Doug Spelling has a first down for the Preds.
They tried generating pass rush with only 4 defenders, but right there, Charleston was able to thread the needle and get that completion for the first down. But I'd like to see Bossier City's defense bring a few more players on the blitz.
Seen a run yet for Charleston. Their run game was marginally better than Bossier City's in the first half, mostly because of this man right here, Yale Montana. Pushes the defender back. Freddie Trammell will either give him 4 on 1st and 10.
And Yale Montana's got a really good build for, a receiving rushing threat out of the backfield because, 6'4", he can go up and get those hard to catch balls, and, he's a hard runner too.
The backfield a season ago had 51 catches for 719 yards and 4 touchdowns. There's Nick Hoagland, the smaller of the 2 backs, trying to get skinny. 3rd and a manageable 2 coming up after a 4-yard gain.
And it's been consistently, achieving 4 yards per carry average, and so we'll see if they try to run it up the gut again. 3rd
and 2, I formation. Montana follows his blockers, only needed 2, got 3. First down as Charleston resets the down counter. Charleston in front in total yards tonight, currently 152 to 131, and up 81-40, doubling up Bossier City in the rushing game. Fresh set of downs for the black and red. Roll out for Kopech. The block is there. The pass is complete. Brad Taylor Wright, the fullback out of the backfield. Down the field, makes an impressive catch.
Yeah, like a wide receiver right there. Caught that and kind of stumbled forward for a few more yards, but excellent catch in traffic. There were 2 Bossier City defenders in the area. The safety was right there in his face, but excellent catch by a fullback.
Wright, 5 receptions, 27 yards last season. Wasn't really used at all in the passing game. Didn't have a reception last week. We'll set up the inside screen to Nick Twice. That doesn't really go anywhere. Bogey Barr makes the tackle for the Steamers. There in the upper right-hand corner, you see the total yards, now 179 to 131. Decent time of possession advantage for Charleston as well, over 2 minutes. Back shoulder throw, caught by Twice. The block is there, and he's into the end zone for a touchdown.
That was a phenomenal play. The rollout to the right, and then the corner route by Twice was wide open just to saunter into the end zone. Phenomenal play by Charleston, just well-made play design right there. The corner route, and then the block right there by the receiver. Just phenomenal play by Charleston, and that gets them off on the right foot in this second half.
Yes, Nick Twice gets the touchdown on his record, but I'm pretty sure he's going to be buying Doug Spelling dinner for that block to spring him free to scamper into the end zone. And Charleston retakes the lead 21-14 with 7:04 to go in the 3rd. And that looked like a first quarter Charleston drive. Long, efficient, utilize the run, lull the defense to sleep, and then take the top off the defense.
Yeah, methodical. And then, like you said, the play action rollout, and it catches them off guard, and then that corner route was the perfect medicine for that drive.
Now Bossier City finds itself in a position they've found themselves in a lot in this game. Down 7. It's not a position they found themselves in a ton. In their first game of the season against Florida, they led 17-0 with a minute to go in the first half, and then Florida, showed their class. They're 4-time champions for a reason, right? They eventually won 28-26. But Bossier City at home getting come back all the way on like that, got to sting a little bit. Now staring down the barrel of going 0-2 here on the road against Charleston, as they start this drive from their own 28. Pickler the handoff, and only 3 yards on the counter.
And that's kind of been part of the course so far.
Yeah, that drive for Charleston, the first to the second half, 8 plays, 71 yards, longest drive of the game second longest drive of the game. Bossier City had an 84-yard touchdown drive back in the first quarter. Here's the other back, Robert Nemchek. And he gets to about 3rd and 5.
You know, a lot of the run woes in this game for Bossier City has been their offensive line just has not been able to get great push up front, so the holes just haven't been there.
And there's only 1 sack for Charleston on the game, but Pickler's had to scramble a couple times, been forced into rushed throws as well. This time he's pressured again, throws deep and overthrows his intended receiver, making sure that one just goes too far. Sam Blotner bats it down. 4th and 5, 3 and out forced by Charleston, and a chance to really swing the momentum here in this third quarter.
Yeah, and Pickler was kind of playing with fire right there, throwing it into double coverage, and I thought we were going to see Sam Blotner maybe take it away right there.
The lefty Danny Dimes punts this one away. It's high and far, caught at the 25 by Michael Knight, brings it back to the 32. And if you're Charleston right now, I think you just kind of have to copy what's been working, right? Long, slow drive, run the ball, burn some clock.
Yeah, stay balanced, run it, like you said, burn the clock, mix in a little play action, a little rollout, and you've got a recipe for success.
Someone I'm surprised we haven't seen more of tonight is Xavier Solomon. Just 1 catch for 17 yards on 1 target. He led everybody in week 1 of the SFL with 10 catches, 112 yards. Montana off the left-hand side, hit by Holdorf, gain of 2.
And, you know, it could be just the game plan of Bossier City to shut down Xavier Solomon because, you know, he is, you know, led the league last week in receptions. So they maybe made a point of contention right there to stop him.
Holdorf couldn't get off the block that time. Does get 2 yards, but Trammell makes sure he doesn't get any more. 3rd down and 6. 3rd down efficiency, neither one of these teams very good tonight. Predators 3 of 7, Steamers 1 of 5. Twins with a single back for Kopech to aim out here on 3rd down. He does go down the numbers, and the pass is high pointed by Doug Spelling for a move of the chains.
Yeah, Doug Spelling had 4 receptions last week in week 1, and in this game he's been, you know, catching a few passes right there, big first down. But like you mentioned, we have not seen Solomon get called, but it'll be interesting to see if maybe in crunch time gets his name called a little bit.
3rd reception for Spelling on the night. He's got 41 yards on 8 targets. And they go back to the ground game. Yale Montana playing against the team, or the franchise, excuse me, he used to co-own, has done really well tonight. 61 yards on 18 carries.
And the receiving touchdown as well in the first quarter.
Second and 4. The handoff goes to Hoagland. Hoagland less impressive. 7 carries, 24 yards. Does have a touchdown.
I mean,
he's been 1-2 punch.
Yeah, he's been doing all he can each time he gets his name called, and like you said, got the touchdown, so he's got that on his list.
3rd and 1. Can the Predators get a 5th 3rd down conversion of the game? Currently sitting at 50%. It'll be Montana. Room to maneuver, and he puts the shoulder into the chest of Zach Holdorf. Gets just enough for a first down.
Now, partner, up until this drive, we mentioned in our game prep about how Bossier City was having, you know, tough luck defending the 3rd downs, and in this game they've had a better job.
Kopech has to throw back across his body. The pass is caught by Xavier Solomon, only his 2nd catch of the game. Got his legs taken out from under him right as he made contact. Only a 4-yard gain. Great job by Kopech to not just let that play die.
No, make something out of nothing right there.
And they go right back to Montana, and he powers his way for another first down.
Oh no, we've got an injury. Oh no, Bob Funk.
Bob Funk. who's been crucial tonight, 8 tackles. But his night may be done prematurely. And if you lose your free safety, that invites maybe some deep passes. Maybe now Xavier Solomon could look to get down the field against the backup out there. We'll see.
Yeah,
First and
absolutely.
10.
Now's their chance.
A chance for Charleston to go up by 2 scores. For the first time since it was 14-0. They'll keep it on the ground with Montana. They're just going to burn this clock here in the third quarter. You're watching the Simulation Football League here on the Virtual Football Network. This week on VFN will feature SFL Week 2, Sunday and Monday, UFL Saturday, Tuesday and Friday, and then back to SFL Week 3 next Saturday. And Sunday in a pick! Deflected by Zomelia, picked off by Boer on full stretch, and Bossier City says, give me that!
Yeah, Boogie Bar almost had one earlier in the day, but right there, phenomenal play by this defense to get that takeaway, and now it forces Charleston's defense to have to play on their heels a bit and maybe enforce a stop right here.
Bossier City not in great field position at their own 19, but they do get a big stop, preventing Charleston from going up 2 scores. Pickler the handoff. Noel getting nothing. It's been a great game for the Charleston run defense. Noel 8 for 27. Nemchik 3 for 5.
Yeah, you're not going to win many games when you just can't run the ball consistently.
Average yards per play for Bossier City down to just 3.9. They averaged 7 yards per play in the first quarter, the Steamers, but just 2.5 in the second and 1.6 here in the third. That'll help. Jeff Banfield makes only his second catch of the evening. He was the one that was dropping all the passes in that second quarter. He comes back and gets a big first down for the Steamers there.
Johnny Pickler has not let up, targeted him because, like you mentioned, multiple targets that he's not been able to come down with, but right there stayed true to the trust in the receiver, and it was a completion.
Just 9 first downs on the game for Bossier City. That was their first of the third quarter. There's a minute and a half to go in it. They're going to continue to try and run the ball with Rob Noel, but he's just getting nothing.
You're right. No, not getting anything, and it is keeping Charleston honest. But at some point you just got to abandon it because you've got to stick with what is working.
3.2 yards per carry for Noel. Pickler back to the air. Here comes the blitz. He throws right at the blitzing linebacker and finds the open man in one-on-one coverage, Garrison Blue.
Garrison Blue leveraged all the position he could possibly get on that play, stayed in front of the corner, and right there caught it, anticipated the hit from the safety, but maintained the catch, brought it down, first down.
Best drive of the second half so far for the Steamers as they're into Charleston territory now after starting at their own 19-yard line. Pickler against the 4-man rush, throws short to Banfield, will pick up just 2.
I consider that almost like a free throw where you just need to see it complete to maintain that consistency. Just make this free throw, get a little dink and dunk, continue the drive.
Pickler just over 50% completion, 11 of 20, 55% on the night. He's going to take off and run. Shake off 1 sec. Can't get away from the second one. Dan Dash lives up to his name. And as we start the fourth quarter, it'll be a deep 3rd and 12 coming up for Bossier City.
And looked like John Lawley right there on the initial sack attempt. But no, Dan Dash brings him down for the sack.
4's up. We're headed to the final frame here on the Virtual Football Network. Charleston 21, Bossier City 14, and a massive 3rd down and 12 right here for the Steamers. Michael Torello and Wade Phillips on the call for you here on Friday evening as we just passed 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. Pickler looking, dealing. Oh, Banfield! Double coverage, one-hand catch, first down.
You know, we mentioned in our pregame, we got to see which one of these teams is going to show up in the clutch, just like we saw in week 1 with Charleston. But right now, Bossier, Pickler is absolutely clutching this drive, and these receivers, Banfield in particular, has been money on this drive.
Charleston needed overtime to topple LA in week 1. Bossier City had a big lead against Florida and then was upset in their own building. Pickler to Kalia over the top inside the 15.
That corner route is lethal by Kalia. Just that route running is so incredibly crisp right there. Just breaks behind the defender, turns around to anticipate the catch, knows he's going to get hit, caught it, brought it down. Excellent pitch and catch by Pickler to Kalia right there on that play.
And even though in live action it looked like he was maybe triple covered, the route was so good, he was in that sweet spot between those 3 defenders. That was an easy throw for Johnny Pickler. Now at the 12-yard line, Pickler middle, wide open, touchdown! Garrison Blue has the Steamers an extra point away from tying the game again. They just will not go away.
Internally, I was thinking, you know, it's only a matter of time until we see Garrison Blue get a big catch right here. And right there, we saw it. And this was the picture-perfect drive for Bossier City. Now we've got total yards 216 to 242. They're slowly climbing away and chipping away at this lead. Now they've got it tied up. And Bossier City, that's the drive we need to see them replicate going forward.
We got 2 great games on the Virtual Football Network tonight. If you're not following the other game, Oklahoma City up 17-10 with 1:40 to go in the third, and Oklahoma City driving to potentially take a 2-score lead in that one. But here, we've got a 21-21 contest. Charleston went up 14-0. Bossier City came back to tie the game. Charleston went up 21-14, and now Bossier City came back and tied the game. Nice return by Knight. Up near the 40, they'll start at the 39-yard line. Will the Predators, who are trying to start 2-0 on this young season, and they're playing in the division, in the East Division that really they've kind of been counted out of, right? You look at that division as kind of your haves and have-nots. You got the perennial powerhouse Florida, the reigning champions Carolina, and then you have Lexington that lost a ton of pieces on the offseason, and then Charleston was kind of the odd man out. They might be starting 2-0 and putting that entire division on notice here. But they got to win this one. Deadlocked with Bossier City, 8:56 to go in a barn burner in Charleston, South Carolina on Friday night. Play clock down to 5. Kopech rolls into a blitz, takes 1 contact, now 2, now 3, still on his feet, now 4, gets away again, and he can't get back to the original line of scrimmage. It's Schulters that eventually brings him down. What was any of that?
I don't think I breathed the entire play because it just, you know, sack it, break the sack, and then finally brought down for a sack. You know, kudos right there. Bossier City's defense just would not stop on that play. That was phenomenal defense.
And the man that eventually got the sack, Schulters, is the backup. He's in for the injured Bob Funk, who got injured right at the end of the third quarter. Kopech now on 2nd and 11. Will fire, tipped and incomplete. It almost made its way to Michael Knight, but the contact was there by Freddie Trammell. 3rd down and 11. We'll have a game update for you after this 3rd down here. Kopech trying to keep this drive alive. Charleston 50% on 3rd downs this evening, but this one going to be the toughest one yet. 3rd and 11. 4 receivers, 3 to the near side right. Kopech time to throw and throws underneath, incomplete. Knight got jammed up at the line of scrimmage, and a 3 and out for Charleston. Let's hit Cam for that game break.
Thank you, Torillo. Watch this. Oklahoma City up 24-10, and Quag Man spins. It doesn't look like he's going to get down the sideline, but just does beat the kicker. Minnesota's got 2 plays of over 70 yards for touchdowns, but otherwise getting hammered. It's 24-17 Oklahoma City, a wild one in Minneapolis. Back to you.
Wade, what a great night of SFL action. We got Oklahoma City and Minnesota doing battle here, and then we've got the deadlock here in Charleston, 21-21.
Yeah, good night of football, by golly.
Bossier City has not led tonight. They have a chance to take the lead here with 8 minutes to go in the fourth, starting from their own 29. It'll be a run for Rob Noel, and the game plan for Charleston against the run has been fantastic this evening, limiting Noel to just 3.2 yards per carry.
Yeah, they have been outstanding. Like you mentioned, it is a masterclass in run D by this Charleston defense, and it'll be interesting to see if they can continue this the rest of the season.
Pickler, deep middle, caught by Blue, right to the midfield stripe.
And it's crunch time. Garrison Blue showing up. You know, last week he had 5 receptions. Right now, you know, he's, if not there, he's nearly there, and it has been all crunch time for Garrison Blue. And, you know, when they need an almost automatic first down, they call Garrison Blue's name, and he's completed it almost every single time.
4 catches, 76 yards, 1 touchdown for Garrison Blue on 8 targets, 19 yards per carry every time they go to number 86. Pickler finding Kalia down to the 35-yard line. Bossier City clicking on all cylinders here in the fourth quarter, excuse me.
And Pickler has really started to target Vin Kalia and Garrison Blue on both of these the first scoring drive of this last possession that they had, and on this. I mean, when you're needing something almost automatic, you just go to who you trust, and you can see that Pickler really trusts Kalia and Blue.
Pickler, 8-step drop, has to scramble, goes down, a 7-yard sack for Dan Dash, his second of the second half.
That's the drawback of those 7-8-step drops. If you get dropped back there, you have set yourself back quite a bit. And right there, just nothing was open downfield. The defense swarms to him, brings him down, and now it's a 2nd and 17. Definitely not how Bossier wanted to start that possession.
And it's back on the arm of Pickler. He's forced to scramble. He breaks out of a sack, and Kalia dropped the football. It's a fumble. Charleston recovers, but I think for the second time tonight, it's going to be overturned.
I'm 100% with you, partner. I think it will be too, but my goodness, what is with these quarterbacks? Are they just lathered up in grease because no one can get their hands on them?
Someone cast the freedom of movement spell on both quarterbacks tonight before the game. What is going on? Charleston now has 2 potential fumble recoveries. One of them got turned back. This one likely to be turned back. Pickler was dead to rights against John Lally in the backfield. Somehow escaped, found Kalia, and the ball bounced off his hands. And for the second time, Bossier City wins the challenge.
And you know, now that
42. Sorry, go ahead.
Now that I think about it, Bossier City had one of those wild fumble recoveries in their first game where it went the other way for them, but ultimately was called back as well. So something funky is with them playing.
Press man from the defense on 3rd and 17, and all Pickler can do is tuck in and eat the contact. 4th and 17 now. Is Bossier City in field goal range? The answer is no. That big sack by Dan Dash saves Charleston and keeps this a tie ball game as that punt goes straight up into the South Carolina sky. Danny Dimes gets a good roll all the way inside the 15-yard line as this game continues to stay deadlocked at 21.
Yes, and that, like you mentioned, that punt, a very extremely fortunate roll because it looked, like you said, went straight up and landed past the 20-yard line.
First down and 10. Montana back to his bruising ways, a 7-yard pickup. This Bossier City team, as a franchise, has been around a long time, Wade. All the way back in season 6 as the Dallas Law. They've been to 3 championship games, lost them all, and has had 7 different identities across now 8, 9 years of operation.
It's a nomadic organization, but maybe they found something in the Bossier City name that they can hang their hat on and maybe get a chip.
Well, in their first year as the Steamers in season 23, they went 3-9. Last year, 7-5, made the playoffs for the first time as the Steamers. Lost in the opening round of the postseason. Meanwhile, Charleston has Montana stiff-armed to the outside for 6 yards, second and a 4. Charleston has been around since season 12, all but 3 of those seasons as the Predators. First 3 seasons in Indianapolis, 2 as the Red Devils, 1 as the Spitfire. But have only made 5 trips to the playoffs, but have won a game in 4 of those 5 trips. Handoff, middle, Hoagland, first down and more to the 40.
And another phenomenal run by this Charleston run game. The line has been outstanding today, opening up holes everywhere. And the running backs are, hats off to them for hitting those holes and, turning away for, 5-6 yards per carry. And right now, that's why this game is deadlocked, is that they can run it, and it's been very effective.
And they just burn and clock. They have had the ball for so much of the second half. And again, Montana, this time they line him up at the fullback spot, have him on a dive, and almost pick up a first down gain of 7. Now, Wade, I love my matchup history. It's one of my favorite things that we do in research. And for 2 teams that have been in the league together for now 15 seasons, they've only played each other 5 times, including this game. It's 2-2 all-time record. Second down and 3 after the 7-yard gain. Hoagland with a defender on his back, can't get to the first down marker. That's Gunny McGuire, who does have an interception this evening.
Yeah, picking up with what you said about the matchup history. Yeah, it's absolutely mind-blowing that, like you said, 15 seasons and 5 including this matchup.
And the away team has only won 1 time. Handoff, first down. All runs all the time on this drive for Charleston. That was a Charleston victory over the then Lone Star Glory in season 17. So Yale Montana was on the other end of that game as a part owner of that franchise. Other than that, 3 home wins out of 4. First pass of the drive, and it's a beaut to a wide open Knight. Big first down for Charleston.
Charleston needed that first down, and if I'm Charleston right here, I don't think I pass it another time this drive. I just run it, eat as much clock as you can. If force them to stop you from getting in the end zone, because you're in field goal territory. So I'm running it if I'm them.
Kopak throws back across his body off the back of a defender. Not maybe the greatest decision in the world by the 4th-year man, Iman Kopak. Time of possession in this game has really favored Charleston. Almost 4 minutes more of possession for the Predators over Bossier City. And it's all been on that run game. 147 rushing yards for Charleston, just 54 for the Steamers. The total yards still very close because Bossier City has done a ton through the air. 210 passing yards for Johnny Pickler tonight. Kopak gonna throw again. Gonna check it down to Montana. You could do a lot worse than checking it down to Montana. 7 yards on the pitch. 3rd down and 3.
And right here, I think I might go with Hoagland up the middle, maybe on a dive, but you know, I'm trying to pick this up through the run because, you know, we want that clock to hit the 2 minute and keep on going.
Both Hoagland and Montana hovering around 4 yards per carry. They will run it. It is Hoagland. It is a first down. Excellent call, Wade.
You know, a broken clock's right twice a day, you know. So, you know, it worked. But, you know, that's what they had to do, and it worked. And now the clock continues to roll. First down, and now they can control this game. Pending something crazy, they've got control of this ball game.
2 minutes warning. 21-21. Charleston knocking on the door. Bossier City, really their best case scenario right now would be a turnover. If not that, then a half stop forcing a field goal to give them a chance to win on the crackback when they get the ball. At the 11-yard line. Montana only gets 2. First charge timeout to the Steamers.
Up until this drive for Charleston, it was a very neck-and-neck yardage for the second half, but now Charleston is running away with it on this drive, picking up quite a few past that 200 mark that we saw earlier.
They send Xavier Solomon into the slot on the near side. Weak side handoff. Montana digging for the corner. He's pushed out of bounds at the 4-yard line. 3rd and 2. And this might be the play of the game. Either Charleston puts it in the end zone to win it, or Bossier City gets a stop.
And it was a big play to push him out of bounds to stop that clock. Steamers
don't burn a timeout. How big will that be down the stretch? Look at all the bodies piled in the middle. 3rd and 2. It's a stretch to Hoagland. He's blown up by Gunny McGuire. Bossier City calls their second timeout and holds Charleston to 3.
That's huge. That is huge for Bossier City. And now Charleston, you know, if they can stop Bossier, you know, that'll be huge. But now Bossier's got life that they can continue this ball game.
Bad snap. The kick is up and good. Cameron Duty. The first non-touchdown score of the game by either team is a Duty chip shot field goal. And now with 1 timeout and 1:43 to go, Bossier City needs a field goal to tie and a touchdown to really turn over the apple cart from week 1, where they led most of the way and gave it up right at the end. Tonight they've trailed most of the way. Can they snatch it right at the end?
Yeah, and oh no, I think it's a backup.
It is a backup corner for Charleston, injured on that return.
If we can see Bossier replicate the drive that we just saw them, you know, put some points up there, all they need is a field goal and they tie it. So we've got to see some effective, efficient play calling right here by Bossier City.
The last touchdown drive for Bossier to start the 4th quarter, 9 plays, 80 yards, 3 minutes and 40 seconds. They don't have that kind of time. Just 1:38 left and 1 timeout. Pickler on first down, immediately faces pressure, throws over the middle, Blue caught at the 48-yard line all the way up near midfield.
And they're going to let it roll. They're going to, you know, let this wind down. They're not going to leave much time unless they start to kick it in gear and start a hurry up. But a little bit of time left, but they got to continue this drive.
1st and 10 at the Charleston, their own 48. They're going to hand it off. They do have 1 timeout, but Nemchek gets stuffed. 1:08 left. They're going to run the clock. Thomas with a big tackle. I don't think we've called his name so far tonight, but he steps up in crunch time for Charleston. One yard on first down. The clock continues to wind now, under a minute to go. Pickler throwing wide open. Caught by Tim Brown, the fourth wide receiver on the depth chart out of nowhere. Picks up a massive first down. Still no timeouts left for Bossier City. 23 seconds left. They'll run it. Are they just going to set us up to go to overtime here? 13 seconds. Got to get the playoff. 10 seconds. Pickler throwing incomplete. Clock stops at 7.
And your run game hasn't been effective all day, and now you're sub 30 seconds and you run it twice. Just not the most efficient play calling, but now they've got to settle for a almost 50-yard attempt.
49 yards for Matt Fennick to send us to OT, and he got it! He crept it over the bar!
That put all his leg, like a mule kick right there, just had to put all the strength behind it. But we've got 3 seconds. A lot can happen in 3 seconds in the SFL.
Fennick, a new season long. Hit from 43 last week, hits from 49, and we are headed to extra time in Charleston. For the second straight week, the Predators play 4 quarters of football and cannot decide a winner. Strap in, folks. Here we go to overtime. Charleston, last week against LA, won the coin flip and didn't let LA touch the ball. Who gets the flip? Bossier City on the road gets the coin flip and will have a chance to snag one. Victory from the jaws of defeat here in Charleston. All set up by a good return here, or the coverage can set up the Charleston defense. It will not be returned and will play at the 20-yard line. Not a ton of yards tonight, just 320 to 289 in a game that's 24-24.
No, yeah, there's been a lot of 3 and outs happen and a few takeaways, but yeah, like you mentioned, low yardage affair today.
First and 10. 24 all, first play of overtime. It's an underneath route that's incomplete. The hit by Jacob Clear. First time we've called his name tonight. Knocks the ball away from Garrison Blue.
And, you know, it came at couldn't have come at a bigger time right there for Jacob Clear to knock that ball out, because it looked like he was close to the first down marker.
Second down, the pitch, and the run game is stuffed again. Charleston has drawn up a defensive masterclass against the run. John Stamago, who led the team in tackles last week, has his 11th tackle this week.
And look at that third down efficiency, 2 of 9 for Bossier.
And it's a third down and long, 3rd and 12. The 4-man rush, the deep shot, catch! Jeff Banfield in the clutch keeps the game alive for Bossier City.
He has been so clutch. We've called his name in the 4th quarter and now in OT, just making unstoppable catches in, double coverage right there with 2 defenders in his face, goes up, climbs the ladder and brings it down.
Jeff Banfield was 1 for 5 receptions to targets in the first half. He's now 5 of 8, 62%. Pickler throwing, Kalia at midfield.
When you need it, Kalia can provide it, and now they're getting so agonizingly close to field goal territory. And, you know, they've just got a few more yards and they can get the field goal unit out there. They just need to chip away just a few more first downs.
Johnny Pickler, 279 yards to run the ball. One of the better runs, actually, of the night for Rob Noel.
And credit to them. They've stuck with the run. It hasn't been the most effective, but it's gotten the job done to get them into overtime.
2nd and 7. Charleston needs a stop in the worst way, and they get a nice pop in the A-gap. As Robert Nemchek is hit by Ben Bowman. Remember, on the first play from scrimmage tonight, Ben Bowman got an interception for Charleston that set up a Predator touchdown. 3rd and 7. Another chance for Charleston to get off the field. Pickler looking, time, rolling, throwing, incomplete! Leo Morris with the clutch deflection.
That was huge. Wow, that was the play of the day for Charleston's defense in this overtime period anyways, because like if they don't get that, that's easy field goal territory, but now they give their offense a chance to put points on the board.
Danny Dimes will pin Charleston at their 19-yard line. They got a field goal in overtime last week at the convention to beat LA. Can they do it again to beat Bossier City and go 2-0 to start the season in 2 overtime games? Last season, Charleston didn't win a game till week 5, and they are potentially about to start 2-0, and a lot of it's been on the feet of this man right there, Yeo Montana. 110 yards on the ground.
It's going to win you some ball games.
Kopech, he's been a little inconsistent tonight, and he almost throws a pick. Off the hands of Bogey Barr. And now Charleston staring at a 3rd down.
Bogey Barr's got his mitts on the ball 3 times today, brought it down once. So, you know, if he gets that again, I'm sure he's just chomping at the bit.
Kopech drops back, lets it go, incomplete. And that's it. Charleston can't get anything going, and the field position battle being edged out by Bossier City here in overtime. A lot of pressure being placed on Darren Bennett for a good punt here. It's a decent one inside the 40. And returned by Dave Axis to the 44, but not a very long way to go for Bossier City to get in field goal range, considering Matt Fennick hit a 49-yarder to even get us this far. So a 3-and-out pretty much necessary here for the Preds. Here we go. Pickler, quick throw, Banfield at the 40. How clutch has he been? He's made 5 straight catches on 5 straight targets in the second half.
He's got that clutch gene, and now he has overtaken everyone else in my mind for player of the second half. It's without a doubt for me.
Now Charleston needs a turnover. On the run. Noel stopped, gain of 4. And this would, I don't think they're quite in field goal range, Bossier City. Would be a really long one from here.
Yeah, almost 60 yards.
Charleston another chance to get off the field now, but they got to stop him 2 more times. 2nd and 6. The run is stuffed. Tigger Clay, first man to the contact. John Lally follows up. And now Bossier City, who's just 3 of 10 on 3rd down, has to convert another one to keep this drive alive. Charleston, another chance to get off the field and get their offense back on it. Pickler hit as he throws, and the ball flutters to the turf. Charleston stands strong again, and the game continues.
And they've got that clutch gene is showing up for Charleston's defense, forcing this punt, but now their offense has to finish the job that the defense has been doing everything in their power to do, stopping this run game at every point.
Arcing punt inside the 10 and bounces into the end zone. So out to the 20 comes Charleston, and we go on past the 11 o'clock hour Eastern Standard Time. If you are still spending your Friday evening with us, sound off in the chat, give the video a like. Thank you so much for staying up with us tonight. We really, really appreciate it. Charleston a chance to make their mark on overtime. Went 3 and out on their first possession. The Charleston defense has been excellent with their backs to the wall. Can the offense respond in kind? Kopech will take off and run and pick up 6.
Nothing to do it downfield, just take off. I mean, you got to pick up 6 right there. Now makes a manageable 2nd down. We'll see if they continue to rely on this run game. It has been so effective so far in this game, but, you know, the passing game's gotten them some points as well.
Montana picking his way through. Good run. 1st down. SFL action returns to the varsity, the Virtual Football Network. I forgot what company I was working for a second. My apologies. Virtual Football Network Sunday, with 4 games on the docket, headlined by 2 major Week 1 winners, Chicago and DC, at 6:45 Eastern. Other action includes Arizona, Lexington, Queen City, Houston, and Florida, LA. The SFL is 25 seasons strong. That's a loss of 1, a rare negative gain on a rushing play for Charleston there for Nick Hoagland.
I think we've only seen that happen, I want to say 1 or 2 times, including that all game for Charleston.
2nd and 11. Do they stick with the run to try and get some of it back here? Or do they trust Kopech's arm, who's only 52% completion tonight? 13 of 25, 2 touchdowns, 3 picks for Kopech. They will throw, and it's a beauty. Right near the sticks for Spelling. 3rd and inches.
And that softens the 3rd down zone that you've got to aim for to get the 1st down. So it puts them in prime position to maybe move those chains with the run game. But so far today, Kopech has been living in the middle of the field in the passing game.
Montana, 3rd and inches, takes the handoff, got it. Needed 1, got 2. Charleston continues to drive.
And theoretically, we're getting closer to Charleston's kickers' field goal range, so it's just a matter of them completing a few 1st downs right here.
2nd and 8. After a 2-yard run by Montana, I don't hate it, Wade. They're sticking with what's gotten them there. The run game has been great. Montana 119 yards.
And it opens up the whole field for your whole team.
Kopech to Montana in space and pushes the defender out of bounds, stops the clock and picks up a 1st down. He scored a touchdown on that very same play early on in the game.
And they love targeting. About three thrown to, 3 receptions, 25 yards and a touchdown. A nice day's work for Yayo Montana in the air and on the ground. He's got over 100 yards on the ground, but he's been absolutely phenomenal today in both areas.
Charleston, after withstanding 2 Bossier City drives here in overtime, trying to put it away and get a second overtime win in a row to start this season. Kopech looking for the deep ball, and it's overthrown and incomplete.
So now they've got to get something right here. Even if they've got to lean on the run, pick up 3-4 yards, still more manageable than 3rd and long. So they've got to get something just to pick up a few yards right here.
Still not in field goal range. This is about the area where both of Bossier City's drives stalled out here in overtime. Kopech got to throw for it, rolling out of the pocket, taking off with green grass in front of him, fumble the football, and Bossier City falls on it. Stuart Zobelia with the biggest play of the game. Charleston has their legs taken out from under them, and the Steamers get the ball back in overtime.
And he was so close to completing that slide, but the defense got there right on time to jar that ball loose. And now, like you mentioned, Stuart Zobelia falls on it, and Bossier City has got some life to be able to put some points in overtime.
They start at their own 35, and now it's all of the Charleston defense again for the 3rd time here in this OT period. Noel, that's maybe his best run of the night, a 6-yard gain off the left side. 4 turnovers for Charleston tonight, 3 interceptions, and now a fumble.
And like you said, that's probably their best run of the day, 6 yards, but my goodness.
How often do you see this? It's the 2-minute warning of overtime. Bossier City driving to try and win this game. Here we go. 2nd down and 4 after a nice Noel run. Noel just 3.1 yards per carry, 44 yards on 14 carries tonight. It'll be Noel again, and he's got a first. Breaking through the tackles. Stamongo couldn't make the stop in time. Bossier City gets a fresh set of downs.
And it seems like this running back stable for Bossier City has gotten better as the game's gone along, and has to do something with Charleston being a little tired out there on defense.
QB draw. Gotta be careful. We just saw Kopech cough one up, but Pickler smartly slides down after a 5-yard pickup.
They're slowly inching away, getting closer to field goal territory. They just need about 10 or 15, about 15 more yards.
3 times Bossier City's had the ball in overtime. 3 times they've gotten to Charleston's side of the field. They have not even attempted a field goal yet, and they won't this time as Pickler throws an interception, and it's returned all the way by Ben Bowman. He had an interception on the first play. He may have had an interception on the last play. What a bookend for Charleston.
And there we go. He's, like you said, first play of the day, and then quite possibly the very last defensive play for Charleston's defense, he gets another interception. So wipe out what I said previously about player of the game. It has all been Bowman today.
Now at the Bossier City 35, Charleston in field goal range. Maybe just a couple runs to get a little bit closer for Cameron Duty. Montana gets 2. 55 seconds left to go in overtime. On a marathon Friday night. I formation, they'll move Belling across from left to right. Get one more defender out of the box. Kopech gonna throw, he does. It's caught by Spelling, breaks the tackle, movement in the open field, out of the 21-yard line. Doug Spelling with a potential game sealer. And now it's all on the leg of Cameron Duty. But they're not gonna throw him out there just yet. 5 seconds to go in overtime, number 1. And a timeout called with 3 seconds left by Charleston. Cameron Duty, who's only I'm running out of words, whose only work tonight has been extra points and a chip shot field goal, has a 39-yarder to win it. He had a 36-yarder to win in overtime last week, and he's got a 39-yarder to win in overtime this week as the clock hits triple zeros, and Charleston is 2-0 with 2 dramatic overtime wins. Holy cow, Wade Phillips. What a game.
What a game. And we saw, a little bit of everything in that game. We saw field goals, we saw run touchdowns, passing touchdowns, interceptions, fumbles, sacks, broken tackles. Just everything was in that game. We got to see a little bit of extra time, and just a phenomenal day. Just the passing yardage for Charleston wasn't there, but the run game, they had more rush yards than they had passing yards. But Bossier City just could not get it going on the ground. But in the end, it was a close game, but Charleston got that clutch gene and pull away at the end.
It's a little bit of extra time. I think we got a lot of extra time. We played 5 full quarters tonight. Oh, man, a couple of numbers. Johnny Pickler in defeat. 21 of 36, 58% completion, 294 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. That last pick, a backbreaker, both interceptions thrown to Ben Bowman, who is my personal player of the game. Wade, 2 interceptions,
Agreed.
4 tackles, but both interceptions set up big plays. On the first play from scrimmage, set up the Charleston touchdown. Then on the last defensive play, just when Bossier City was maybe 1 first down away from kicking a field goal to win it themselves, the interception by Bowman, the long return, and it was just a matter of time from there.
Bowman 100% my player of the day as well. Started off the game strong, finished strong. That's all you can ask.
Honorable mention goes to Yale, Montana, against the organization he used to co-own. 33 carries, 123 yards, also 3 receptions for 25 and a touchdown. Nick Hoagland also had a rushing touchdown. Not the greatest day for Iman Kopech. 230 yards through the air, 16 to 29, 55% completion, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. I'm not sure you can sum up all the action we saw tonight in a couple sentences, Wade, but you've got the last word. Sum us up for tonight.
We needed to see something clutch from either team. We got to see it from Charleston.
That'll do it. Charleston moves to 2-0 after 2 overtime victories. They win 27-24 over Bossier City. Bossier City drops 2 heartbreakers, had a big lead last week, and then lost to Florida in the second half, then fought from behind over and over and over again in this one, tied it up multiple times, sent it to overtime with the final kick of regulation, but just couldn't get it done in the extra period. For Justin Reside and Joshua Durr on stats, Cameron Irvine, producer extraordinaire, Wade Phillips in the broadcast booth with me. My name is Michael Torello. Thank you so much for spending your Friday evening with us. It is all square, 27-all, Oklahoma City and Minnesota. 5 minutes to go in that one. Head over there. I'll see you over there in the chat, and we'll see you next time for more SFL action on the Virtual Football Network.